Hi everyone, and good afternoon from Alabama, where today we're visiting the Birmingham Zoo. Never been to the Birmingham Zoo before and love checking out a new zoo. This video here, we're going to show you all the animals and exhibits the Birmingham Zoo has to offer. I go by the legend, joined by my wonderful girlfriend, Molly.
It's hot.
It is. You're wearing a hat.
I'm excited. I am.
All right, let's go see the Birmingham Zoo. Right by the entrance of the zoo, there's a very tranquil lake and waterfall fountain area.
Really pretty.
Yeah. Time to head into the Trails of Africa.
San Antonio Zoo.
Big, beautiful African lion.
Oh,
He's
a big one. There's still a rhino here.
There's a couple of plains zebras that are exploring their enclosure. We walked by a moment ago. We saw the trainer putting out some treats, so figured that these guys would be getting a snack time soon. Off in the distance, you can see a giraffe, but up nice and close and enjoying a sprinkler on this very hot day, two big old ostriches.
They're really enjoying that water. Nice.
So the giraffe that was all the way at the edge of his enclosure first time we walked by could not be much closer. And that is a very big giraffe. Currently looking at the zoo's elephant yard, and elephants normally in zoos get one of the biggest enclosures, and that is definitely the case here at the Birmingham Zoo. This thing, it looks like it's the size of a football field.
It's giant.
Unfortunately, no elephants out right now.
They had a tractor with food earlier.
So hopefully we see some.
Yeah.
If we don't see any, well, that's probably why you're watching this clip. Didn't see any elephants in that giant yard, but there is one massive, massive elephant over here in this spur section.
He is enjoying his hay.
Yeah, that's a big animal. There's a cool looking rhinoceros. Looks like it's just coming out into its enclosure right now. This little fella is a duiker. I just think they're pretty cool animals. There are some tortoises, from the rather small to the rather large.
He's eating.
Yeah.
Slowly.
There's also one over here that's really enjoying a nap in the mud. All the way on the other side of the enclosure is the bongo. A weird horn on this one. It looks like it's got a big kind of ball thing growing on its horn. It's interesting because these are new bongos, I'm guessing, to the zoo. So a lot of their enclosure is covered up by a mesh netting, so that way the animals can acclimate to the new home better. The coyote is right next to us. I'm not sure why he's in the Trails of Africa section, but he's really cool. Time to head into the predator building, which we assume will be filled with some big, angry, impressive animals. And no, it looks like it's going to be filled with adorableness. The first one up is the palace cat. And oh, look how cute. This fluffy tail. This adorable little fellow there with the big ears, that is a fennec fox. Normally they sleep kind of in a small ball, kind of with their head tucked down underneath their tail. Interesting to see one sleeping in this pose. Worth noting, if you did not get a view of the coyotes outside, you can also see them from inside the building. So you can kind of just make out its little paws there. That is a sand cat. They are also adorable. Wandering around there is the black-footed cat. Hanging out on the tree branch there is a provost squirrel. In my opinion, one of the cutest animals you can see at any zoo. The red panda. They are so adorable. They just look so fluffy. I love their little faces. This guy looks like he probably wants to go into his night home, but I do like that red pandas love to climb, and this one has plenty of stuff to climb on. Up here he comes for a stroll. Oh, so cool. Well, we're only one state over living in Florida. Let's go check out the native wildlife here in Alabama at the Alabama Wild section of the zoo. Good news, the black bears have a beautiful, beautiful enclosure, complete with a picnic table. The bad news, I can't seem to find any of them. Using the super zoom to the fullest, there is a black bear way in the back of the enclosure. I believe they have 2 at the zoo. Some big old Thanksgiving turkeys over there. That is a prize bird. Also, it looks like the Birmingham Zoo used to have some sort of a ropes course or zip line style attraction, but that is definitely not currently operating. Just turkeys. Really cool turkeys. Beautiful big bird of prey here is a golden eagle. Look at those talons. Those can do some damage. Now, these are creatures we see all the time back in Florida, and they're sandhill cranes.
They do block the road sometimes.
It's pretty hilarious when they do. I'm never mad, unless I'm like late for work or something, then I would be slightly perturbed, but they're pretty awesome. Now I think this is just like not really an enclosure, but more or less just a big pond. And there are some small turtle species in this lake. See that guy hanging out right there. Unfortunately, when they come to the zoo, you can't see them all. And today, for us, that is the North American river otters. Yeah, they don't seem to be out right now. It is a shame there are no otters out at the moment because their enclosure is really cool. Multiple different windows. You got a little bubble kind of peek-ins here where you can see into the otter den. It's a really nice otter exhibit. Oh, Molly, thank goodness there's an outhouse. That Whataburger's run right through me. Oh no, it's not a real outhouse at all. Instead, it is showing the droppings of various animals and what they look like. Which, honestly, I don't think I've seen that in a zoo before.
No, it's helpful for hikes though.
Yeah, see how much trouble you might be in or not in. If it's the bear one, you might want to look around. And definitely, if it's the mountain lion. It is always good to see zoos under construction and expanding, making nicer enclosures for their animals. Here they're doing some sort of expansion to the Alabama Wild section. Not sure what this is for. If you know, let me know in the comment section below. I do have some enclosures here for spider monkeys and gibbons, but I don't see any out. So those spider monkeys I didn't see. You can see the tunnel there that takes them to the outdoor enclosure. And they're all hanging out inside today.
It's hot, I don't blame them.
No, I'm not sure it's much cooler in there. But they're just monkeying around.
Oh, that's sweet. Mama! Come!
Currently inside one of the buildings because it's very hot out. The air conditioning feels great, and also the animals listed on this one should be a good one. First animals once we get inside the building proper are lemurs. The ring-tailed lemur up here, and down there a couple of, I believe they're brown lemurs. Theming in the building is pretty solid. You can definitely tell it's an older building. And then the cotton-top tamarins are out.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
I love their style.
This fella here is a DeBras's monkey. Now, if you don't see any of the smaller primates outside, they might be inside, so you have to kind of check both areas. Like this guy, I was sad we didn't see him outside. I mean, come on, he's got a little goatee. There you can see a Cape porcupine playing with a big, looks like a big stick. There's a couple of them in here. One I imagine probably wants to go inside. And they share the enclosure with the DeBras's monkey, so I believe the DeBras's monkey, if they want to, can come over here and swing around above the porcupines. And there goes the monkey just showing off my point. Cool design on this enclosure. These fellas here are listed as black howler monkeys. Enclosure here for the lionfish. And they do have some interesting signage here at the zoo where it talks all about how the lionfish is a famously invasive species. Over there you can see the zoo's giant anteater, whose name is Carlito.
That's a fun name for an anteater.
It is a fun name for an anteater. Wonder if he spits in the face of ants who he does not think are cool. Here you can see the zoo's beautiful, beautiful jaguar. Now he's got an interesting history. His name is Khan. He came to the Birmingham Zoo from the Jacksonville Zoo, where he was originally named after the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shad Khan. Rolling around there, that is a giant otter. You have the largest species of otter. A little bit funnier looking than some of their relatives, but really neat. You can see through the net there, the giant otters have decided to go for a swim. There are two of them in here. This colorful small bird is a golden weaver. So I'm thinking this orangutan really likes its enrichment toy, as it's currently wearing it around its head. Also love the pose on the big male in the hammock. Let's see what kind of animals they have at the children's zoo area. There's a very pretty Alabama stream enclosure. It's supposed to be home to sunfish and an alligator snapping turtle, but I'm not seeing anything in there at all. There is a splash pad for the kids. Makes sense, it's probably about 95 degrees today, so that surprise is not more popular. Molly, I hope you didn't want to ride the carousel.
Can I just stand there?
Nope, but it does answer the question, what is a refurbishment? It's actually kind of interesting to see the carousel in pieces like this. Obviously,
Yeah,
all the...
I've seen them all broken apart.
Yeah.
I've seen like horses missing. But
No surprise the kids' zoo area is home to the petting zoo with some goats. Goats over there getting a nice rub. I think it's enjoying that. Look at the cute little pig.
He's only a year
Oh.
old.
There is also a small donkey who's enjoying his donkey lunch. Right by the children's zoo, there's also a butterfly pavilion. It's actually really peaceful, as we're like the only ones in here. It's Molly, I, and 100 butterflies. There is this kind of odd statue of a rabbit.
it's odd until his hands. His hands are the thing that's weird.
Yeah, he's got like maybe he's like a jacked rabbit, like he spends all day at the gym.
I don't know.
The zoo's home to a couple of chickens. See, there's definitely more grates down on the bottom where the chickens and little hens probably were. But pretty cool area for the chickens.
Forest birds, they live particularly in mangrove forests where it's really clouded and kind of shadowy. So them being kind of dark like this helps.
Had to turn the camera back on for this adorable little pig in what I'm guessing is his residence here. He's got a kiddie pool. He's got a food tray that's the size of his body and a doghouse with a blanket in it. Living good, buddy. Living good. Over by the splash pad area, there's also a slide and a rope bridge. You can see a flamingo walking out of the water.
The other one's following him.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch over there. A couple of very pretty swans. In the Swan Lake is also some turtles. There's a bayou swamp for alligators.
You would have no idea if an alligator's in there.
No. But if they're hanging out on the shore like this fella, well, then they're easy to see. Resting in the corner is a barred owl. There's a section for birds with some vultures and cranes. They're not in the same enclosure. The vultures separated by a different fence. couple more fun species of birds. I'm always a big fan of the masked lapwing, even though my camera doesn't want to focus on it.
I'm really sad there's no bushtail.
Yeah, that would be
He's
pretty cool to
cute.
see, but it would not be an easy one to find. As the train's making noise, walking on up is a Cory bustard. It's probably 3 feet tall and a very dinosaur-esque bird. This one. This is not one that you'll see in a lot of zoos. So pretty cool that they have one here at the Birmingham Zoo. That is a neat-looking bird. There is a lorikeet aviary. It looks like at certain times of the day you can go in there with them. Unfortunately, right now is not one of them. The white-naped crane is resting peacefully in, I believe, its nest. The southern ground hornbill is coming right over towards us.
Yeah, he's right up against the fence.
That one's got a grub. Happy dropped his grub. Now I think he might have eaten his grub. In one corner there is a building for birds. It is definitely a lot of older enclosures. I think I read on a sign this opened all the way back in 1973. Obviously, bird enclosures at the zoo tend not to be the ones that need the most room or the most updatedness, but you know, 1973 was a pretty long time ago. If you are in the zoo on a hot day, one of the bird areas is a very nicely air-conditioned enclosed building home to a couple different species of birds. Let's see if I can focus here on the roller. And I can't. Having a scratch there, that is a roadrunner.
Look at his beak.
It's so expressive in the face.
He is. And his head feathers.
Hasn't done any meeps yet though. Not one.
Meep.
What's around that way?
Next up, reptiles. Love the mural. Normally reptile buildings are not my favorite of zoos because if there's a lot of people in these things, it's just a miserable time. Right now, Molly and I are the only people in here, so it's actually quite wonderful. As I'm looking over here at a very sleepy caiman lizard. Look how peaceful the little dinosaur is sleeping. Very cute pose here on the box turtle. The bumblebee dart frogs have such vibrant, awesome coloring on them. Of course, there's plenty of snakes in the reptile building, like the cottonmouth right here. The timber rattlesnake is showing it all off. His super cool face. Those eyes, look at those eyes.
He eats rabbits.
Oh no, I don't like you as much anymore. He's also showing off his rattler there.
He does live in Alabama.
Well, that makes me even more terrified. So I'm curious how many people turn this corner and then freak out as there's a giant statue of a Komodo dragon there out in front of the enclosure. And then this is interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen a Komodo dragon up on top of a rock before.
Animal Kingdom, right?
But not this high.
It's not that high, but it's on a rock.
Yeah, but not one that's like 10 feet in the air.
Yeah, no.
That is a very statuesque animal. The San Sebastian Island chuckwalla. Big fan whenever zoos have something like this. They've got a sign right as you come in, and that'll show off when the different kind of keeper chats and activities are. They also do have a big lawn, I'm guessing, for special events. It does get pretty hot here in Alabama. They do have water bottle refill stations, so we do try to bring our own water bottle when we can, and it'll help with the heat. As we're here at the statue for the indigenous Vulcan, Molly, what time is it?
I think beer 30.
Beer 30 indeed. Drinking a Cahaba Brewing Company IPA. Really good, but also pretty expensive. 12-ounce beer, $11. Like many zoos, the Birmingham Zoo does have a train ride. It takes you around the zoo. I think it's a couple of bucks, but I'm not 100% sure. for the kiddos. There's a rock wall and this big adventure tower where you climb to the top, and then there's a slide on the backside. Here's the zoo. Used to have sea lions, but they have been moved to the New England Aquarium. And that'll do it for our time here at the Birmingham Zoo. I had a good time. We were here for about 2.5 hours. It does cost $20 to get into the zoo. There's no charge to park. If you are a member of a different AZA zoo, you do get your reciprocal discount here. So Molly and I got in for $10 a piece, and I think that was a really good value. There's definitely some newer parts of the zoo and some older parts of the zoo. You could tell the nicer, newer areas, like the barnyard seemed very, very new. Their elephant enclosure seemed really awesome. And then you get some areas like where that bird area that's 53 years old. But at the same time, if the zoo's only charging $20 to get in, and it's not filled with upcharges either once you get inside, it's different than other zoos that charge $35 or $40.
And they are doing construction. I think they said, what was it?
It's going to be cougars and bobcats in that area over in the Alabama section. Molly, do you have a favorite animal today?
The red panda.
Yeah, hard to beat that red panda.
That was really
I really like that dinosaur bird too, that I was not familiar with at all.
I've never seen that before, ever.
And come on, those ostriches just hanging out in the sprinkler. Those guys were cool. All right, if you got any questions about the Alabama Birmingham Zoo, let me know in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching this video.